Hello nieces, hello nephews, it's your Uncle Charles here and welcome back to my YouTube channel where we do unbiased price action analysis, and we got a couple of things to talk about. Usually that is the bear case scenario and the bull case scenario, okay? So very important today because we tested a critical level, a critical support level. We also tested a critical resistant level, and I'm going to give you guys my plans and trade setups today. But before I do, I just want to give a quick shout out to my Discord member Galactic. End of the day, and my Discord, I usually ask the members how they do, and Galactic went 7 for 7. He posted his trades, his, right there, 7 for 7. I like to call people who never miss snipers, because that's what Galactic is. So big shout out to you, Galactic, and thank you for being part of the community. Now, let's get back to business, right? We tested, you see on this daily chart, we tested a critical support level today. I would say fairly successful, right? It bounced there. That was the 412 level. That support of the rising channel, as well as this pink trend line that I have here, this structure or pattern, channel, whatever you want to call it right there. It was based on the 412 level. All right, and I mentioned in the Discord and I mentioned in Substack, if you guys are subscribed to my Substack, that the bulls needed to get above 412 and get above and clear resistant level at 413 and 413.5 zone. Okay, and you see here, this is what I had. The level 413 was around where the gap started from the pre-market, and 413.5 was a level I had based on the daily chart. He cleared the level. 413, back tested it as a support. I call it back test and go. But the idea behind is that we see a resistant level change behavior to a support level. We see buying pressure, that's bullish, and that's an indicator to go long or buy calls. And it worked pretty nicely up until we hit a brick wall. And that brick wall being the 415 level. Let me show you guys what I mean. I already had one arrow out. This arrow right here is pointing out to the 415, this pink line. I'll change it to yellow. Okay, that yellow line is the 415 level. You guys see that it was selling pressure. This was back on Friday. This was Tuesday, selling pressure at 415. And look what happened today. Selling pressure at 415. Very strong critical key level, in my opinion, based on this context that we have here. That's a 415 is definitely a key level to be watching. All right, and bears stepped up once again at that level. All right, but what else does this look like? This also looked like a potential head and shoulder pattern, right? A potential head and shoulder pattern, which is usually a bearish setup. Okay, we got the head here, left shoulder, potential right shoulder. Okay, so if I try to find the neckline, it'll be something like this. All right. It's never perfect, but the neckline would be around 412. Okay. It might slope up by tomorrow though, keep in mind, but around 412. All right. So multiple reasons why that 412 level was so critical today, and multiple reasons why that 415 level was so critical today. Okay. So yes, 412 was critical based on this pink trend line, but my rising channel, it slopes up tomorrow, and for tomorrow, support of it will be around 412, 412.8ish. Okay, so 412 to 412.8ish would be a critical support zone. We'll give it a zone for bulls. Must defend that zone, stay above this pink trend line, and stay above this rising channel, because if we lose these patterns, guys, if we lose this level, the 412 level to be more specific, I think it would be pretty bearish in my opinion. All right, so yes, that's the bear case scenario. We need to break down 412. We tested 415 multiple times, and if we can let it play out on the smaller time frame, we need to see 412 break down. I don't care if we gap below it or we break it down the way I like for it to break down. Just break it down intraday so I can short it. But the bottom line is below 412, I would be bearish. All right. And I do have support at 410. short that breakdown. If we get below 412, we can short the breakdown on 410. Okay, 407.5 would be the next support, and the next critical, the next key level would be 406. You guys see back in early April, we had some decent buying pressure from that level at 406. So bears still got some work to do. Break down this structure, break down 412. And the next key level to break down would be 406. We might get some bounce there. If we lose 412 and we manage to drop to 406, we might get some dead cat bounces or some basing there. If it does reverse, it needs to bounce off 406 and recapture a resistant level, giving us a false breakdown setup. But if it bases around there, it's going to absorb the buying pressure and could possibly drop down lower, 404. There's a gap at 41.5-ish. And the next fib level I have at 50% fib level is at 399.5. Okay? But the bear case scenario starts if we break down 412. Okay? That's definitely the critical level to watch for tomorrow. Once again, okay? Now, at this point, while bulls have been defending support levels, defense is not enough. We need to see some offense, meaning it needs to clear some critical resistant levels. So if you're a bull, you want to continue to see 412 lowest defend as support. But for follow through, what that would look like is the breakout of 415. All right, breakout of 415 would cancel all that selling pressure that we had there. Okay, we break it out. That would be a good sign that the selling pressure is gone. Now we did clear it. Okay, this was Tuesday, but this was like 5 o'clock in the morning. This activity, when we did clear 415, that was, in pre-market. If we look at the volume around pre-market when we did clear it, there was no volume, or little to no volume. But when the market did open, that's when you see the volume just coming up. And what happened? Selling pressure. That's hence the arrows, why I point there. But yeah, so very critical level. Lots of selling pressure at 415. Bulls must defend 412 and clear 415. If that happens, guys, look to long, get bullish, okay? So very simple. Below 412 is bearish. Above 412 and the clearing of 415, that would be bullish in my opinion. And we could put 416.5 to 417 zone in play with 418.3. That's February. That's a February high back, earlier this year. 418.3 with 420 and 422 in play. Okay, we go back all the way back to August of last year. We see there's still a gap that's yet to been filled around 422. We'll see if the market will finally fill it this week or maybe next week. But man, it's been a slow melt up, pretty boring. Luckily for me, I was able to get one level to level move in, which time decay kind of messed me up a little bit. But hey, overall, green can't complain. Not a big green, but we just got to take what the market gives us, right? So yes, below 412 is bearish, bullish above 412, but it needs to show follow through by clearing 415. All right, guys, now let's move on to the triple Q. We see a triple Q overall. You see my green line, that's been the chop range, and overall it's just still stuck in this chop range. Okay, so still the plan for triple Q is overall pretty much still the same. Needs to clear 321 to trigger more upside. 323 and 326.5 ish with 331.5 is above that, but it needs to stop by clearing 321. All right, the RSI is not overbought, so it needs to build some momentum. Okay, now if you're a bear, same thing for bears. This chop is not favoring bulls or bears right now, but we'll see. But if you're a bear, you want to see 315 and 313 fail as support to put 311 and gap fill at 308 in play. But yeah, breakdown of the chop will be around 315 and 313, two critical support levels. If we can break those down, that would be a good time to turn bearish, unless we get a false breakdown setup, that is, okay, which would be a good bear trap or fake out. But overall, if it does break down those levels and show follow through, that would be bearish. As of right now, still neutral within this range, but like I said, above 321 would be pretty bullish for triple Q. IWM, it's grinding up. Still trying to grind up, still holding above that 61.8 fib level at 176.5. It also coincides with this blue trend line here. So If you're a bull on IWM, you need to see 176.5 continue to hold. You want to see 179.5 clear. That's the green trend line here. The trigger will move up to 181.5 and possibly above that to 183.5 and 185.2-ish. All right. So below 176.5, get bearish. As long as above, you need to see a clear resistance starting with 179.5. Tesla, I had it grinding up this bear flag or this yellow trend line here. I would have liked to see some nice moves intraday to the downside. Unfortunately, we had a gap down and it kind of bounced intraday, well, at least until the late in the day. But I had a 38.2 fib level at 184.5-ish. On Tuesday, Tesla managed to close at 184.3, so technically it was a breakdown, not very impressive. But that breakdown was good enough to give us a gap down going as low as 177.6. Okay, so overall, I am bearish on Tesla unless it can recapture 184.5. All right, recapture 184.5 would be bullish on Tesla. Okay, if it stays below it, bearish. As of right now, it's at 174. Must have reported earnings. Yeah, I have support. There was support at 176.5. 176 actually, 176 to 176.5. And the next support will be around 173.5. Looks like it may want to test that in the aftermarket. Look at that. Holy moly. It went as low as 171.6. And there's the earnings and revenues, guys. All right. They did pretty good with earnings. Didn't do really good with revenues. Okay, you guys see it? That's Tesla earning right there. All right. But I'm not a fundamental guy. I'm just a price action guy. So if you guys want more info on that, definitely check out Tesla's earning. They just reported it. Guys, all I'm saying is based on the price action, it's bearish below 184.5. We'll see where Tesla opens at tomorrow. Okay, look to long above 184.5. If you're subscribed on my Substack or my Discord, definitely watch the levels that I give out to you guys and look to react. We long breakouts of resistance, short breakdowns of support. All right, but yeah, next critical support I have for Tesla is at 173-ish. 173.4. That's the 38.2 fib level from January 2023 low to February high. Okay, so that's 173.4. If it breaks that down, guys, that will be very bearish. All right, 170, 168, and 164-ish would be in play. Now here's Apple. While Tesla's looking bearish after earnings, Apple does have earnings in May, early May. Wonder if it'll happen the same where it'll drop down. But as of right now, guys, it's looking bullish. It cleared my yearly trend line, the orange one. All right, as of right now, resistance at 168. I have support at 166. All right, 166.5, and then based on the yearly trend line is at 165. Excuse me, okay? So support 166.5 with 165 below it. Resistance at 168. If Apple can clear 168, we can possibly go test the 78.6 fib level at 170.3. All right, and there is a gap at 171.5-ish. So if that level clears, let's watch out for the gap fill. Okay. Now if you're a bear, you want to see a false breakout. Okay, starting off with breakdown of support, drop below 166.5, and then there is that yearly trend line at 165. So if Apple can break below 165, look to short. That's a false breakout. All right, targeting 163.5, and then of course this purple trend line is now at 162. All right, so below 162, I would be bear bias on Apple. Okay, good time to get bear bias on Apple. Breakdown of 162. That's this purple trend line that's been keeping Apple bullish. All right, now moving on to the inverses. Here's the DXY chopping right now, trying to break above this orange trend line. We'll see what happens in the next couple of hours, but it definitely needs to close above 101.8. The higher the better if you're bullish on the dollar. Resistance is at 102.5. If it can clear that, 102.8 and 103.4 would be back in play, okay? Now support is 101.7. If that fails, possibly could see more downside with 101.5 and 100.8 back in play. The VIX still looking bearish, guys. Below 17 is bearish. It's just melting down. And 15.6 is next. Is the support I got. 15.6 with 14 below that. It'll be interesting if VIX gets to 14. I doubt it, but hey, anything could happen in this market. Best time to get bullish on the VIX is if it recaptures a level starting with 17. All right? If it recaptures 17 or 18.5, that will be bullish for the VIX. All right? Now, here is the dark pool. Didn't get much activity in the dark pool. The most liquidity level we got was at 414.26. It's only a little over 200 million in premium, so nothing that I think is worth mentioning. I like the ones that are over $1 billion. So not that much liquidity in the dark pool. Okay, we look at the SPY, filter for 500K premiums or above. 70% in the puts. It's getting some decent in the money puts with these block orders. 450 strike price. Some more in the money puts. 465, 450 strike price. Okay, so most of those block orders are very in the money puts. As far as the short term, nothing that really sticks out to my eyes. Most of the sweep orders are low in size. QQQ, 45% in the puts, 55% in the calls. Okay, it's a mixture, but none of them are big size. Nothing that really sticks out. IWM was very busy, over 90,000 contracts. That's 97% of today's contract were in puts. And look at the block orders. Block orders, all puts. Some very, very in the money puts. The dates are pretty far out. All right, so keep an eye on IWM. This is a good sign that volatility is incoming, which is good for us traders, hopefully. Unbiased traders. Tesla, 93%, also giving us a bunch of those block orders. Very, very in the money puts. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we get some more volatility. Why is all these block orders coming in? It's got to be a reason. And Apple, 100% in the puts. All right, 162.5 strike price for this one. That was pretty in the money. April 21st strike price. That's the only one that sticks out. They probably made some good money. And here is the VIX. 95% in the puts. Over 133,000 contracts. Look at these split orders. All calls. All calls. Keep in mind. All right, guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys found value in this video. If you guys want more content from Uncle Charters, please consider joining my Discord. And please hit the subscribe button. Uncle Charters just need a few more subscribers. I think 17 to get to 7,000 subscribers. That's really cool. Never imagined this could happen, but it is. So thank you guys. Peace.